Hello everybody, I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith here in the First Alert Streaming Center on this final day of 2024. And just my little piece, I know people think it's a new year, it's going to be totally different. It's just another day. Now, if you want to leave some things behind in 2024, that's great too, and set some goals for yourself in 2025. No problem with that. But remember, it's not like things are going to be drastically different tomorrow, although in the world of weather, they kind of are. So in that respect, it actually is going to be very different in 2025. But I know some people put a lot of stock into that new year. And just, have some grace. And it's okay if you don't fulfill all of your goals and dreams by the end of the day today that you had for 2024. So anyways, it is exciting that we're here at the final day of 2024. New Year's Eve is always a fun day. There's so much going on across the area, across the world. We've been kind of showing those different celebrations here on the morning show, and it's been really fun to see all of those things. So thank you, Susan. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Okay, so we have a lot to talk about. I made a post on my page. I know you could be watching this on Fox 19 or you could be watching it on my page, Ashley Smith, WXIX. I have a post there about the storm system coming our way Sunday, Monday, that maybe you should read it. I also tweeted it out. But we will talk about that, but we have a lot to talk about. So we have, of course, the cool down headed our way tonight, rain changing over to snow tonight, the very strong gusty winds today, snow on Friday, and then that system Sunday, Monday. So it's like an every other day thing. Snow Wednesday, snow Friday, snow Sunday, Monday. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's dive right in, right? Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know. Hello, Andrew. Okay, so outside right now, and this is pretty much what all of our cameras look like. Very cloudy skies. The river looks awful, doesn't it? It's very windy. The camera bouncing around. You can see all of the flags waving in the breeze. Good news is traffic looks to be getting along just fine at the Taylor Southgate Bridge. Yesterday, even though I know not everybody's kind of doing normal things this week as far as work and school and all that kind of stuff, still the Taylor Southgate Bridge was really backed up last night when I was on at 3 and 4. So still people are getting out and about, that's for sure. Okay, so we've already been at 50 degrees today. 51 actually has been our warmest temperature so far today. Still another very mild day. Normal high is 40, record is in the 70s. Wow, that was a warm day. In 1875 it was 72 degrees on December 31st. I don't think we'll break that anytime soon because that is 32 degrees warmer than normal. Either way, it's still another mild day. And the good thing about that is that when we do see that rain change over to snow tonight or tomorrow, the ground is going to be far too warm for any of that snow to stick. So it will just be wet roads, wet surfaces. Okay, so let's go through this. I'm going to fast forward through these pause points. So this talks about kind of all of the things that are on our radar, pun intended, in the next several days. So for today, strong gusty winds, it's still wet at times, and then it turns cold. Now, we mentioned slick spots here. That would mostly be very isolated slick spots, elevated surfaces, bridges, overpasses, that kind of thing, because the temperatures will be falling into the 30s tonight and into the day tomorrow, but still those the ground is going to be very warm. But again, an isolated slick spot definitely possible. Gets much colder tomorrow through not only the weekend, but well into the month of January. At least the first 2 weeks of January are going to be bitterly cold. And then Sunday into Monday, we're looking at the potential for snowfall, an accumulating snow event. And basically when we say accumulating snow, we mean more than 2 inches of snow. That's what I would say. I mean, technically even an inch is an accumulation, but I think most of us are meaning, 2 inches or more. Models are all over the place. I know I showed you some of the models yesterday. We'll dive into that today, but we will not be showing totals on the air because it's wild right now how different they are. Okay, so let's look at radar right now. And again, we did see some much heavier rain today. We saw some of those thunderstorms. There's actually a severe thunderstorm warning right now in West Virginia. And this actually, I think, has the possible tornado tag on it. Yes, tornado possible. So again, this isn't in our area, but just kind of interesting for December 31st that there's a radar indicated severe thunderstorm that could have a tornado with it, which basically means that they see rotation and it not enough to issue a tornado warning, but that there is rotation in that storm system. So again, that's not here. That's actually closer to the Charleston area. It's actually north of Charleston, West Virginia. But yeah, so, maybe you're traveling today. I actually have family in that area, so hopefully they're okay. But that's a strong storm system. We did have some of those thunderstorms. Here is where you'll be able to see this a little bit better. We did have some strong thunderstorms in eastern Kentucky, too. There was a warning there earlier today. For us, we're likely to just see some of those scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, but not expecting anything severe. Let's actually see the severe outlook today. I didn't plan to show this, so hopefully it's updated. I think it is for where the Storm Prediction Center expects severe storms today. So it does actually have portions of the tri-state included in that marginal threat for severe weather, but again, it's closer to where we're seeing those thunderstorms. So Adams, Brown County, a very small portion of Claremont County, Mason, Lewis, Bracken, Robertson County in northern Kentucky included in that marginal threat for severe weather. So we'll just have to keep an eye on radar today. Anything that pops up in those areas has the potential, has the conducive environment to see some of those thunderstorms. Now again, not expecting anything widespread, not expecting an outbreak of severe storms by any means, but just worth mentioning. Let's see, the wider view on radar. Sometimes these graphics take longer than I think they should to load, but here we are. Okay, 1 second. Okay. So yes, this is the wider view of radar, and you can see with this counterclockwise spin on radar that we're not done with the rain yet. So we still have to see all of this moisture kind of spin through the area and move through and bring us that rain. Notice how already we're starting to see some of that wintry precipitation mixing in some spots of Indiana, especially into Illinois, just northwest of the Chicago area, seeing plenty of snow. So the cold air is there, and it's all being rushed into the tri-state throughout the day today. So cold air arrives, the rain changes over to snow. Again, it's all very light though. All right, let's look at how much rain we have already seen. Now this is just since midnight. I think for the most part the rain started late last night, but there wasn't very much. So this is pretty much going to be the storm totals, or we'll add to it today, but so far this is pretty accurate. So about a third to a half of an inch of rain across much of the region. CVG a little more than a quarter of an inch, Lunken more than half of an inch. More than half of an inch in Hamilton and Harrison, Middletown 61/100ths, Oxford close to a third of an inch of rain, and the same in Batavia, so, and Wilmington for that matter. So we've already picked up some significant amounts of rain when you figure that Sunday morning, I guess it was. Yes, Sunday morning we had about an inch of rain, and some spots even more than that. So the ground is already very soggy. I haven't heard any reports of problems with all of the rain. In other words, any kind of flood reports or high water in spots, but it's just, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case just because it's been so wet lately. Right now, temperatures in the 40s and 50s, 48 in Connorsville, 46 in Batesville, 50 in Westchester and Mason, 48 in Brooksville at CVG. Just a little bit of sunshine out there, but overcast skies for most of us. Breezy winds out of the southwest at 18 miles per hour, so there's a little bit of a wind chill. Feels like 44 degrees outside right now. This evening, Kings Island is doing not only Winterfest, which is the last night for Winterfest, but they're also doing a special New Year's Eve celebration. They're going to have fireworks at midnight. They also have another countdown at 10 p.m. if you don't want to stay up till midnight. So if you're going to Kings Island, temperatures will be dropping through the 40s, eventually into the 30s during the late evening hours. Okay, so let's talk about this precipitation. This is the forecast for today. Again, scattered showers will be possible. There comes that snow after 10 p.m. Totals for Friday, about an inch. Wilmington closer to an inch and 3/4. Hillsborough, an inch and a half, the same amount Orb. So yes, you're looking at, again, an accumulating snow event, but very manageable amounts of snow. Tomorrow, by the way, the totals are going to be little to nothing. Maybe a dusting in spots, that would be the most that we see. This is Friday. We're looking at about an inch and a half in some spots. Now, let's look at what happens. So there goes the snow Friday. Saturday is dry. Now, again, Saturday, of course, is a Bengals game in Pittsburgh. Should be dry. That's not until 8 p.m. I guess I could fast forward this to 8 p.m. I went too far. Well, let's pause it here. So there's some lake effect snow in kind of parts of western Pennsylvania. Should be outside of the Pittsburgh area, but barely. But doesn't look like anything significant. However, by Sunday, if say you're going to Pittsburgh for the game and then you're trying to come back on Sunday, that's when you could encounter some problems on the road. So watch what happens here on Sunday. So we'll fast forward here until we start to see the precipitation here in the tri-state. So this is Sunday at 11 a.m. We're already starting to see that snow. So again, if you're traveling from Pittsburgh, I'd hit the road early out of Pittsburgh Sunday morning perhaps, so that you can beat all of that snow before it gets here. Now, the snow, here's the thing. This is the European model, and it's close with the GFS model, which goes out this far. Some of our high resolution models don't go out that far, but I want to caution you that the problem here is if that rain snow, kind of like the wintry mix line or the ice line here further to the south, that could change quite a bit between now and Sunday. So that's another reason why we're not really getting into the finite details of the storm system, because if that changes even by 20 miles, it's a big difference in what kind of precipitation we get, the amounts of precipitation, the temperature profile is totally different. So that's another reason why we're just really kind of being a little bit vague about this storm system, because at this point it's just way too early to kind of nail down any kind of details. Okay, so this model, and again, this is the European model, starts to bring that mix into the area Sunday night into early Monday morning. So this is what it's going to look like. Again, most of us seeing snow. That could change. We are not convinced that this is exactly what's going to happen, because again, if you look at different models, they're going to have a completely different portrayal. Actually, we should do that. Let me show you how different it looks. Okay, so let's go to these more crucial kind of time periods. So let's go to, all right, we'll go here, midnight. This is the European. This is what it looks like on the European. And that's the GFS. So, I mean, the GFS doesn't even bring us any snow until after midnight. So a stark difference. Actually, let me go back on the GFS and make sure that that's the first snowflakes. Yeah, so it doesn't even bring any kind of precipitation to the area at all until Monday morning. Whereas the European model had us in snow almost all day Sunday. Big difference. That would mean a huge difference in totals. That would mean a huge difference in impacts. So again, this is why it's kind of irresponsible right now to give any kind of details. The models are going to be quite different this far out. And then let's see, let's just go, this is again going to be the GFS. It keeps us in snow, which honestly, that's good, because the ice is the biggest problem with, not only with power outages, with clearing those roads. The ice is just a big, big problem. I know you get lesser amounts of ice compared to snow, but it's so much easier to deal with snow if it's an all snow event. I know that the road crews and the power companies would much prefer it to be all snow. So there's the GFS, much, much better. So the GFS snowfall totals will be much, much less than the European too. So again, I understand why, let's go back to the European. I understand why these totals are so different. And that's the thing, you might see these totals shared. Just remember that they're very, very different. And if a forecaster, a meteorologist, somebody on social media isn't giving you all of those, then they're really kind of deceiving you. They're not giving you all of the facts. So again, this is the European, which is definitely a more worst case scenario compared to the GFS, but it brings us snow already by, say, as early as 9 a.m. Sunday. And it continues as almost all snow. There's a little bit of ice that mixes in Monday morning, changes back to snow by mid-morning Monday, and continues into the evening hours. Snow finally ends Tuesday morning. So according to the European model, we're going to have snow for more than 24 hours. And so those totals are going to be very high. I've seen even more than a foot of snow in some of these models. That's very unlikely to happen. And we know that because historically that has, I don't think, ever happened here in Cincinnati. I think the most snow we've ever had in one event is like 11 inches. So anyways, just something that is important to know. Okay. If you remember yesterday, hi, Sarah. Happy New Year's Eve. Well, Friday snow stick to the road. Yes. So Friday, the temperatures will be a lot colder. Excuse me. And so untreated surfaces, that snow will stick. I do think that road crews will have an easy time removing that snow because of the temperature profile. Temperatures are likely to be in the 20s and 30s, which is ideal to remove that snow. Colder than that, it becomes a little bit more difficult when the temperatures get into the teens and single digits. So yes, the snow will stick Friday, but I think if the surfaces are treated, if the roads are treated, they should be okay. So yeah, just be careful in some of those untreated surfaces. Okay. Let me actually, did I do this? Oh yeah, I did, and I forgot that it's not set up for the regional. So this one agrees with the totals that I showed you for Friday. I know you can't see them, but hold on, let me. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so this is the GFS for anything that we get. This includes Friday, which it's still looking like around an inch. Totals vary, 6 to 12 inches of snow. That would be on Sunday into Monday. Now, the other models are much higher than that because they keep us all snow the entire time. So it just kind of, again, it varies quite a bit depending upon the model. So the important thing to kind of keep in mind, the European gives us basically a bullseye, which is crazy. Remember that yesterday I showed you this same model and it had 4 inches. It has now gone up by a factor of 5. It has multiplied those snowfall totals 5 times. We just know that that's not going to happen. But we're going to keep a close watch on this and see how it evolves because it will change, no doubt about that. Okay. Blizzard of 76, that's a good question. Let me see here. Yeah, people always remember those things, don't they? When will you have okay, hold on. These are some good questions. When will you have a better idea of ice versus snow? So today is Tuesday, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's still 5 days away. I would say within 3 days. So maybe on Thursday, we'll have a much better idea. Every day it's going to get better and better. So Thursday we'll have a much better idea. Friday we'll have a really good idea. Obviously Saturday it's already going to be happening to our west, so we'll definitely know. But I would say by Thursday we'll start talking about totals and like actually feel confident in them as well. Hold on here. Was that? Shoot. Okay, hold on. I've even done stories on that blizzard. I shouldn't remember, but I don't. So we're going to look it up. Okay, so, okay. So 76, okay, hold on. Because there was one in 78 as well. Okay, hold on. 30 inches of snow in January of 1977. So we had, because I think 76 was just cold. It wasn't really all that snowy. And then in 77, 30 inches of snow in the entire month of January. So that came from one event was 7 inches. Then, well, I guess it was actually more like 8. Then another, there was so much snow that month, my gosh, 30.3 inches the entire month. But like one day it was 7 inches, then an inch, a half inch, then 4.7, 3.5, and then it just kept adding up, 4.8. But yeah, in one event, what did I say? I thought it was 11 inches. Mm-hmm. Yeah, January 78 was when we had the most. That was 31.5 inches. Wow. And so that was the 11 inches. See, I was kind of on the right track. Okay, so let's see, when was this? January 16th, we got 5.2 inches. On the 17th, 6.1 inches. The snow depth ended up being 14 inches later in the month because we kept adding. It was like 5.2, 6.1, trace, 1.5, 3.6, 0.2. So the snow depth ended up being 14 inches, but that one event was 11.5 inches of snow just over a couple of days. So, okay, so that was back, what did I say, 78? January of 78. Okay, and then somebody asked, what about, answer that. When will we start to see snow Sunday, coming home from Columbus at noon on Sunday? So it depends on the model, but I would say count on that snow by about midday. So because when it first starts, it's not going to be that heavy at first. It will kind of like compound itself. So definitely prepare for that. Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm in Mexico. Good for you, Kim. How much snow are we looking at for the Batavia area? Way too soon to tell. Several inches, though, it looks like right now. Will we for sure see accumulation? No. That's the thing. We could see a lot of snow. We could see no snow. I mean, it really depends what our temperature is going to be, how far north that snow line gets, and how far north that ice line is. That's a big, big question. Pass. Oh, okay, Susan. I can't wait for snow. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people do. 78, 6.5 inches. Yeah, but then the next day we got over 5 inches. So, or the day before that we got over 5 inches. So it ended up being over 11 inches for the whole storm. Donna will recap it here. Oh, and then the drifting. They're saying it caused several feet of snow. Yes, drifting is a big problem. That's what we had in 22. If you remember December of 2022, we had, we didn't have a ton of snow that fell. I think I looked this up recently. It was like 4 inches, 5 inches, something like that, but it drifted so much because the wind chill was like, I don't remember, -20, -30, it was something insane. Because the temperature was below zero and then the winds were very high. So that was kind of more of a problem then. But yeah, the blowing and drifting was a big deal too. Okay, I have taken up way too much time. Okay, but that's okay. Thank you for all of your questions. Here's the 7-day forecast. So again, somebody said that they just joined. They were kind of late, so let's talk about it. Today is the first alert weather day because of all of that rain, kind of the thunderstorm threat. Very strong gusty winds. So scattered light showers through the rest of the day today. Could definitely still hear some rumbles of thunder. Tomorrow, a few light flurries, not going to accumulate. We're dry Thursday, but cold. And by the way, it's windy still tomorrow. Maybe around an inch of snow on Friday. Then we're looking at cold but dry weather on Saturday. And then that chance for a winter storm of some type Sunday into Monday. Now, beyond the 7-day forecast is going to be downright cold. So as we head through January, look at these highs, teens and 20s, overnight lows in the single digits. So it gets very cold beyond the 7-day forecast for kind of that second week of January. I just updated our website. I might actually go back and add a few more details there. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and then again, my Facebook talks about that storm system Sunday into Monday. If you want to check that out as well. Let me catch up on these questions. Happy New Year, Jeannie. Thank you. Okay. All right. I think that's all that I have for you right now. I need to go get ready for the 3 and 4 and again, kind of update some of these some of the details with this storm system. But I would highly encourage you to tune in tonight. Steve Horsemeyer will talk about all of this on his streaming show at 7:15. And of course, we'll have much more on the air as well. And in the coming days, definitely something worth keeping an eye on. All right. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year's Eve. I will see you tomorrow or this afternoon, depending upon if you're on air or on streaming. I'll see you soon.